So some of you may know who I am, but others don't know me at all. So I thought that this would be a good time to kind of explain myself and maybe share some experience that I've learned through high school. So I've been through a lot in high school. It might not seem like it, but I have. When I first entered high school, I was the definition of freshman. I was the definition of freshman. You know, when freshmen are really weird, they look weird, they talk weird, they do weird things, that was me. So, like I said before, I wanted to get the record straight and share some experience I have. So, okay. I'm going to rewind all the way back to 8th grade because that's where it all started. In 8th grade, that's when everything changed for me. I started to be bullied a lot. I was pushed, I was shoved, had things thrown at me, I had mean things said to me in my face. I was cyberbullied. I was bullied a lot. And I fell into this really deep state of depression. So, and I didn't really have many friends at this point. I had one good friend and another good friend, but he didn't even live in the state, so it was really hard for me to have anyone by my side. So, that kind of led into 9th grade. In 9th grade, I decided over the summer I wanted to change my appearance. I wanted to come into school, show these people what they really did to me. And, you know, maybe they would think about what they actually did. But that didn't help at all. It just made everything worse. Everyone looked at me and thought I was weird. I remember hearing people talk about me and saying, oh my gosh, is that really Juliana? Yes, that was me, unfortunately. And it made everything worse, and people made fun of me even more. Because I was an outcast. I wasn't even in the crowd. So then about halfway through the year, my depression got even worse because my so-called best friend decided that she wanted to stab me in the back and bully me too, and take all of my friends with her. So I literally had nobody. But then I finally met this one guy, and I decided I was going to date him. He was a senior. And at this point, I made one new good friend, and he ended up cheating on me with her. So I literally had no one at this point, and I was still extremely sad. And it was just a really bad time for me. Towards the end of the year, I started to make friends with a new group of people, but they weren't really the best people. They were the punks of Baldwin, if you so will. And I was still depressed, and I started to make bad decisions. So that leads into 9th grade. I was still dressing the same, I still had the same friends, but outside of school, I decided that I was going to make a few new friends. I did make a new group of friends outside of school. We were basically the Four Musketeers. We were inseparable. But we still did bad things and made bad decisions. And it also didn't help me at this point that my parents were 100% completely against me. They would yell at me and say really mean things to me because they didn't like the way I dressed, they didn't like my friends, they didn't like how I did my makeup or anything. So it didn't help at all that I had no friends and my parents hated me. I know that they meant the best for me, but what they did really didn't help. And even to this day, I still kind of resent them for what they've said to me. But then in 10th grade, I woke up one day and I realized that I was tired of this. I was tired of being sad. I was tired of being picked on. I was just tired of this whole situation, and I decided I wanted to change because no one was going to come and save me. I had to be my own hero. So I decided to make a few changes. I started to dress normally, talk to normal people, and everything just kind of came naturally. So that kind of leads into all of my changes. My junior year, the summer before my junior year, I met a really great friend, and he helped me out of the hole that I was in. I was basically almost free, but I just didn't know anybody. So he introduced me to a bunch of new people, and it made me realize that there's actually people out there that care, not only about me, but about their future. They take school seriously, and that's what I wanted to surround myself with. And he also introduced me a bunch of new experiences, and I decided that in my 11th grade year, I was going to challenge myself. I took harder courses, and I started to actually take pride in what I did. I started to take tennis more seriously and school more seriously. I also had a lot of fun. This was probably my favorite year, and I surrounded myself with really good people that I'm still friends with today. And at this point, also, me and my parents had a little bit of a better relationship since I stopped being a punk teenager and started to grow up a little bit. So now that leads into my senior year. I honestly have to say that I am much better off than I ever was. I am honestly ready to take on life with all of the lessons that I have learned from my experience. So this, I could sit here and tell you many, many things that I've learned, but I just want to focus on one key lesson that I feel that everybody should know before they move on. The biggest lesson I've learned is that you control your own life. You control your happiness. No one else controls your happiness. You choose what affects you and how it affects you. And when you put your happiness in other people's hands, you will never be happy. You will always be disappointed. And that kind of goes for all the girls out there and guys too that can't live without a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I promise it'll be okay. Because if you keep leaving your happiness in their hands, you're just going to be disappointed because they probably don't even really care about you. So, and also one other thing is that like you know who you are, you know yourself. So why listen to what anyone else has to say? You know who you are, and they're probably just ignorant and don't know you at all. And finally, you have to be your own hero. As I learned through my experiences, that no one was going to come in and save the day. No one was going to help pull me out of this hole. No one was going to swoop me off my feet and take me down the right path. I had to pull myself around and realize that what I was doing was wrong. I had to rescue myself. And if I didn't, I would probably be still going down the same path that I was. So, I've come a long way through high school. I went from being this weird emo freshman kid to me. I'm a very well-rounded, responsible young woman, and I have big dreams for myself. With these dreams, one day I will do great things, because I control my own life. Since I control my own life, I will never be the person I ever was. I can only go up from here. So to conclude, I want to leave you guys with a quote. The best years of your life are the ones in which you decide your problems are your own. You do not blame them on your mother, ecology, or the president. You realize that you control your own destiny. Albert Ellis.